Good morning, guys. Welcome to Flossmas Day 3. It is the 3rd of December, 10 past 10 in the morning here in the UK, and it's another reasonably sunny-ish day. I can see a little bit of blue sky out of the window. It's very much December though. So, I did get quite a bit of stitching done yesterday. It was quite a good stitchy day for me, which is lovely. So, I'll do what I did last night before, well, yesterday afternoon after I filmed, before I show you what I've done already this morning. So yesterday I put in 400 stitches into Pandemic. It now looks like this. This is where I've folded it very carefully, because this is going to be put away now until either it comes out of Whip Go or gets spun next year. So we've done with Pandemic until January. I'm sure I'll be stitching on it in January at some point. So 400 stitches for me was this little flower here. I was finishing off, I finished off this little triangle. It's the really purpley bit of thread here. And then I finished off, I think it was that bit there. Yes, that bit there, that bit there. And then I was still about 30 stitches short of making it to 22%. So you can actually see the line there where the purpley thread joined on, and I then worked, well, I did exactly that many. It was until it was, and then I got to 22% and it was like 396 stitches. So I did the extra stitches to make it a neat 400, and that is my 22% in Pandemic. So we consider that Whip Go goal met. So we can go back here to, I don't have a bright pen. Do I have a bright pen? I've got a bright pink. Hang on. It's just awkwardly in a box with other things on top. So Pandemic is there. So I'm going to give that a great big tick. So that box is done, that box is done. What I'm going to do tomorrow is bring my Whip Go tree up here, put him on my bedside table, so that as I go, I can fill. So I owe myself 2 boxes now, which for me is £12 more towards my Lowry stand. I think there's enough in there for a Lowry stand, actually. I'm pretty sure there's enough, but I also do want to get at least one more Gecko Rouge kit, which was my original deal with my Whip Go tree, was to save £6 prompt. So there's 2 prompts in each box, so it would have been 24 lots of £12, which would have been very nice to have collected up, bar all of these, which is £6 each line. There is a £6 loss for me, and I've saved it up as the years gone by. The idea was to get 3 Gecko Rouge kits, which I'd costed out really carefully, except I'm not going to make it, and now I think a Lowry stand would be very much more useful to me than yet more and more whips. Plus I've already bought some Gecko Rouge kits with a very kind gift, so yeah. So I'm still debating what I'm going to do with my money. We will empty the tree after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, and we'll see what we've got, and we'll make some decisions and order some things then. Well, and then I will set my tree up for next year, and I'm going to run the same deal next year. Just maybe for ease's sake, I might just make it £5 a prompt, just so that I'm not constantly scraffling around for spare change. Turns out I use cash a lot less than I thought I did, especially now Flora's put my my cards onto my phone, and I can just go ding when I pay for things. So much easier, and I carry a lot less cash. So scrabbling around for cash has been more problematic than I thought it would be. Okay, so finished my Pandemic, blooming brilliant. I then picked up Kingdom of Books, which is a hybrid kit pattern keeper cobblestation that I'm doing. I started with the full kit that I got from Marie's Cross Stitch, which is also the cheapest place to buy Lowry stands at the moment, so brilliant. It's a Russian kit. Adriana, I think, is the name on the front. That's either the designer. I don't think it's the company. I think it's possibly the designer. Anyway, I bought the full kit, and it came with an enormous poster paper, you know, really shiny, thick paper printed, and all the kit floss. I started on 18 count Ada, Not the kit fabric, but it was a really particularly nasty piece of Ada, and I really struggled to stitch on it because it used to shred because it was really cheap nasty Ada. Didn't know any different then, didn't know about Zweigart then, just thought Ada's Ada. It's not, we all know it's not. So I struggled, and for years I didn't do more than the first page that I'd done, which was the central page and the central top page, and then I'd started on the page below, but it was awful. And marking off on the chart, the back stitch was all on top of the colour chart, and it was so difficult. Then I heard that there were Pattern Keeper compatible patterns, and it did take me trial and error. Stuart and Stitches helped me a lot actually, because he said, this is a pattern that you can buy on Etsy that actually does go into Pattern Keeper, because I bought one that did not go into Pattern Keeper, which was about as much use to me as a chocolate fireguard. Only £2 or £3 for the PDF. So I will have a dredge about and dig up the one that is loaded into my Pattern Keeper, the one that I bought on Etsy, so that I can give you the name of the place, because there's lots and lots of versions, and only some of them will go into Pattern Keeper. Some of them are just rip-off copies of the chart. But because I had already bought the official proper kit, I don't mind so much buying a Pattern Keeper compatible PDF version, because I have supported the designer, but I needed it in Pattern Keeper. That said, I restarted it on a beautiful piece, an enormous piece of vellum, picture this plus, absolutely glorious, which I had started a long skinny piece, Renato Parolin's 4 Seasons trees, which are 4 separate patterns, but I'm going to stitch them in a long line. This is February Whip Go Fail. I will get back to this. I love Renato Parolin's trees. But there's one tree there, so 4 trees. That's the top and bottom of the pattern, so you can see it's not very deep through. So another long skinny pattern, i.e. Kingdom of Books, I just flipped it to the other corner and started bottom left actually, because that's the bottom of the fabric. So the 2 pieces will sit very neatly. There'll be about 6 inches between them. I can just eventually, at the end of time, I can cut the piece of fabric right through the middle, and I'll have 2 separate pieces. Long story short, took a very long time picking over 2 charts, converting my threads to the DMC colours, because you couldn't do it with a DMC match. They did not match. Luckily, the symbols on the chart matched. The symbols on the chart were in the same positions as the symbols on the paper pattern. They would have overlaid. It's just the symbols were different. Problem number 1, I couldn't just go, this symbol is that, write the DMC down. Nope. I had to find the symbol on the paper pattern, find it in the pattern on Pattern Keeper, highlight it, get the DMC number, find that number on the chart, the paper chart, and then find the corresponding thread on my thread drop, and then write the DMC number next to it, so that when I click on Pattern Keeper and it says 904 on my, I should have brought the threads up, I haven't, on my thread drop, I go to 904 and take a strand. But if I match that to 904 in my master set, they're completely different colours. It's working out. It's working out and it's looking good. Anyway, 131. I had planned on putting an awful lot more into it last night. I'd planned on getting all of this colour here that I've got on all the way down here, and I got really tired and didn't, but that's okay. I wrapped up thread beds, which I think are more like needle books myself, but there we go. I wrapped them up last night instead for my Flossmas goodies. So there we go. I did that instead, which needed doing too. So that's looking kind of cool. I do love this red book. It's only because I filled in so much of it. I've still got a lot of this isn't filled in yet. This is all like naked here, the white here. There are some stitches in, but mostly not. If I bring it up close, you can see there, look, you can see there's like a very, very, very slight tan colour through there. Not much. So chugging along. Oh, and that was this same colour here, started here. So I started here, went that way, jumped up here, and then started filling it down. So I've got to get all the way to bottom with this colour, and then I'll find another colour to put into it. I do want to go back and fill in this bit here of this book. Problem being, I'm very close to the edge of my Q-snap, and certainly on the left hand side I struggle, because I like to put my phone here on my fabric while I'm stitching. So anything that's very tight margined here, I have got quite a bit of wriggle room. I can move it probably this far over, which I will do, but I just can't be bothered to do it right now. And this is a homemade cobbled together Q-snap. I got 17-inch, it's not Q-snaps, they're R&R snap frames, which I like very much. I got a set of replacement clamps for a 17-inch, cut some pipe, used my standard 11-inch sides, put some pipe on and plonked them on, which has worked really well. I've got lots of bits and pieces of frames. I mix and match all the time. Sometimes I've got 4 R&R clamps. Sometimes I've got 2 R&R clamps and 2 Q-snap clamps. Sometimes I've got, here, look. This one has got 2 Q-snap clamps, 2 R&R clamps. They all work together. That is an R&R frame. Somewhere or other I've got Q-snap frames going on. There we go. There's a Q-snap frame with R&R clamps on it. They all work together. It's whatever you've got. It works fine. It's the nearest thing to hand, really. So other than doing some treasure hunt bookshelf last night, not as much as I was hoping to, I will show you it, but I don't have my figures for the last week. I have worked on it quite a bit. I'm now working down here in these colours here. So I'm just basically picking one colour. I'm currently on 917, which is showing pinker than it is. This is a real pure magenta. It's showing very pink. Colour's a bit bright today in here. Anyway, so I've been working on what I assume is some sort of fabricy curtain here. Still only one little gap there. It's on the way, not arrived yet. And then I've got some bits and bobs to fill in here. So there, that's where I am with my current bit, and I'm parking with these. As I said, I have had a little bit of new subscribers. Hello to new Flossmas people who found me through Flossmas. I'm a reasonably prolific poster normally, and you get a once a week from me. And this is my forever piece. It is, you probably can't tell from looking at this, it is a Haid obviously, and it is a super size max colour treasure hunt bookshelf, which I've been stitching on for quite a few years now. And if you look at this corner's pretty much done, but I am a cross-country stitcher, and this is what you get with me. You get bits and bobs. And then there was the time I dropped a biscuit that I had dunked in coffee on the work, and it dropped just here in what happened to be Cinderella's hair. But I didn't know at the time. There was no stitching here at all, and I spent several months. I used to do 1% a month, which is 7,220 stitches. I don't do that. I haven't done that at all this year. In fact, I've probably only put 2% in this year. But I then went on and stitched for several months down here, filled in most of Cinderella. And then for most of this year, I've been colour completing black, because there was 45, I think, thousand stitches of black left to go in it. So as you can see, lots of black has been done. Not all the black. I've still got like 28,000 stitches of black to go, but I got bored. So what I've done for me going forward is I drew a box, which is now fading because I've done it with the marker, but you can see I'm 100% upside down. There. I drew a box. That is the bottom of the chart, and I went up this side here. There's the top of the box, and then that's the side of the box. And I was like, I'm going to fill in this box. It's 24,000 stitches or something. Anyway, I'm chugging along with this. So I'm going to fill in the box, and then if I've genuinely genuinely stitched that colour for everything that's in this box, I'm taking it to the edge and I'm parking. And then when I finish this, because I don't normally park, but they're no good to me, I'm not going to finish off a thread to then pick it back up there when I do get back to it. So I'm going to have threads parked all the way around the sides and the top. And then when I filled in my box, the first thing I'll do is tackle the park threads, and I will just stitch them in. But that'll be probably this time next year. I imagine I will be stitching in the park threads. But slowly, it's at about 34–35% at the moment. I take a full picture of it last day of the year, and then we've got a proper comparison of what I've accomplished. This year, not so much. Every other year, it's been like 12%. So I've been stitching on this for, I think I'm in my 4th year of stitching on it. super size max colour. Yeah, chuck that in with 60 odd whips. But I stitch up. My rule with that for this year is to stitch on it every single day, and I have all but 2 days. One day we had an emergency overnight in Liverpool and I didn't put it in the car. That's on me. And another night, just randomly, I went to sleep and I genuinely did not put a single stitch into it. Usually I can get like 4 or 10 and then go, oh, I'm too tired. One night I literally just didn't. So honestly, 2 days this year I've not stitched on it. Both times have been silly, but never mind. Okay, so this morning I got up, breathe, and first thing I did was stitch on Christmas Ride, which is going to be my Flossmas giveaway, my Christmas Day giveaway, and I've put in 91 this morning, which does take it to 34.32%. It's now here. So I've done the second Christmas tree here and finished off the border, and then I just had a tiny bit left on my needle, so I just did the first bit up here. That's part of a leaf, but I was just using up the thread on my needle. And then I picked up the next colour, which is actually a blue, but it's a very, very greeny blue. So I'd stitched that bit, and there's another tree there, and yeah, and this is the top of a Christmas present, I think, which is why it's a funny little shape. So there we go. So that's coming along. Tiny little thing, isn't it? Isn't it? Tiny little thing. This is not my usual stick. My stick is big. But for a little giveaway, that's going to go on a pocket on a bag. So one of my project bags is going to have an extra pocket, which is going to have this applied to it. And that's going to be my Christmas Day giveaway. There we go. So then I picked up my proper Flossmas piece, which is Santa's Trips, and I've put in 370. My goal is 300. So Richard's phone's just ringing. I think he's having trouble answering it. He might just be letting it ring out. It might be spam. Because it tells him if it knows the number, it says who's ringing. If it's in the address book, it says who's ringing. If he doesn't know who's ringing, it'll just say private number or unknown number, blah, 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 blah. And then he decides whether he's going to answer it or not. Private numbers are usually the NHS, we have learned. We answer those ones. Or the DWP. Or he gets suspected spam and it'll go, suspected spam. He is trying to talk. I'm just going to check he's not stuck. Hang on. Right, we're not sure who that was. It wasn't a private number. It was just a phone number, but we don't know who. So anyway, he was struggling to answer it. I thought he might be. Okay, so there we go. So Santa's Trips, I put in 370 stitches, so a little bit up again. 46.42%, so I'm putting in about 3% a day at the moment, but we're already nearly halfway there, and it now looks like this. So this block, my first block here, is completed. I've done this little bit here, and then I had some of this thread here, so I started this tree, I did that tree, and I finished off my thread there with that. It's not quite finished, but I finished off my thread. So I did add, so my rooftops and my windows are 939, and I added one strand of some royal blue sparkly stuff that I got when Fun to Do was closing down and everything was 50% off. I bought, and it's as old as time. I have just bought this, but you can see how old it is. Look. That has been in that shop probably best part of 20 years, hasn't it? It's rainbow blending thread. It's Glisten Gloss. Who knew? Anyway, it's really lovely. It's like a dark blue. 820-ish. Anyway, I hadn't realised that it was as thin as sewing thread. So all I've done is put one strand together with 2 strands of DMC, just to give it a tiny bit of sparkle. Anyway, that's what I got in Fun to Do. when the shop was closing and all this stuff was just chucked in a basket, and I just ratched through and picked colours I like. So I have that. And I'm also going to put this tangled mess of threads here. Oh, there's cross stitch in front of it. Hopefully by tomorrow this will all be neatly arranged on floss drops, because this is a mess. And I have the capability now of using floss drops because I have got an awful lot of floss drops. So I'm going to use some of my own bloody floss drops, which is good. There we go. So done for today. And I might take it to work. I don't do a lot of stitching in my break. I might just take the little dinkle. I'm going to take this one. I'm just going to take this project bag with me to work, and then on my break I'll put in, I get maybe 50 stitches in if I, if I haven't got a complicated food. If food isn't complicated, like something I have to concentrate on, and if I can just go yum, 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 done, which hopefully I will have something easy. I've got a little bit of time to stitch. I get half that break, so I'm on a 2:10 today, so I'm on a late, which is fine, and then I'm off again tomorrow. But I'm taking Richard to his group tomorrow, the blind group that he's part of, and I'm going to stay, but I'm going to tuck myself out of the way, help make them the tea and coffee and that, and then I'm just going to tuck myself away and stitch, because it's not my thing, it's his thing. And I've found I have become a bit of a voice box. I tend to talk for him now, because for quite a long time there, probably 6 or 7 months after he got sick, he couldn't remember like basic day-to-day stuff, so I did start explaining his situation and telling people, and I find I'm still doing it now, which is now really annoying him because he can talk for himself now, but I'm still doing it. So I try, and he was on his phone to the social worker yesterday, and I went downstairs because I was butting in quite a lot. He doesn't need me to anymore, but I was still doing it anyway. I must learn to hold my tongue sometimes. I never used to be like it, but he couldn't advocate for himself for a long time, so I just had to fill in gaps. Don't really need to do it anymore, but I apparently still do. But so I'll just stitch. So I've got a couple of hours tomorrow afternoon where I'm just going to stitch. Plus we need to leave a little bit early because we need to go and get my boy. I haven't had my boy yet this week because of my shifts, and yesterday was out off the cards. So I'm looking forward to having my boy tomorrow, which will be lovely. So we'll have to leave a little bit early so that I can get to him as school finishes, and that'll be nice. So stitching tomorrow, and I've pretty much done most of the stitching I'm going to do today. By the time I get home from work tonight, it's late, so yeah. Anyway, what I've done this morning as well is go and have a ratch in the conservatory. I didn't get to it yesterday, and I found a piece of 18 count gridded Ada, which I've got another piece coming from Lakeside Needlecraft, but this was one of their odd bits in the sale. You can sometimes get the bits where she cuts for Hades, does like custom cuts. You end up with these weird skinny bits. So this was salvage to salvage, and about 35 centimetres, looks about 14 inches to me there, of 18 count gridded Ada. Lovely, perfect, just what I need. As I say, I've just ordered a tiny piece of this for my Hades sal, but this is going to work brilliantly. I'll just cut a piece of this for my Hades sal and keep that piece for something else, because it's going to be much bigger than I need, because I am only stitching a full page and enough to make it into a pattern, enough to make a pretty picture. I'm doing the castle one. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put the picture up here. I have not yet joined it. I will do that this week when I remember, or I will miss it and I won't be able to do it. I obviously want the Amy Stewart chart, same as everybody. So one full page, but I'm cropping the crop, and that's what I'm aiming to stitch. But I've got my Ada here, DMC's master set, no problem at all. I cut from that piece a piece of Ada that is probably 14 inches square, because I've started the Make-A-Wish, and I've just done this morning now. There is 250 stitches, that's just over 1%. This piece has got 24,000 stitches in it. So I have done just over 1% now with 250 stitches. 2 strands of DMC. You can see the coverage is absolutely perfect. Love it. This is completely full coverage. Carolyn Manning Designs Make-A-Wish. Somebody asked me, it has got 31 colours in it, so it's got quite a lot of colours in it. 8,500 stitches are black, which is fine. Can't see it right now, it's roaming around here somewhere. I've got a cone of black, so that's no bother for me. I did find a skein downstairs that I was using. I've still got tons of skeins. Oh, I can see it, it's in my basket over there. I've got tons of skeins of 310 as well. So yeah, I have started. Went round my first little like quilt star, and it's got a border of 602, which is quite a bold pink. So it's going to be super bright and colourful, fits perfectly into the Q-snap. It's 155 by 155. It's going to be square, about that big. Absolutely perfect. And I've done my standard top left start. So I'm really pleased to be going with that, because that was going to be my new start for yet another new start. Just because I found the pattern and I liked it, and I've got the Ada and I've got the threads, and why not just get going on it? So I did. Anyway, I'm going to do the normal thing. If I stitch on it for another 99 days, 250 stitches a day, it will be done. It's going to take me about 4 years to finish it, let's be honest, because a lot of other things are going to happen in the meanwhile, as we fully expect them to. So on balance, I've already done quite a lot of stitches today. I've done 4, 5, 6, I've done 700 stitches today already, so that's pretty good. I'll definitely stitch on my bookshelf later, and I've got a few stitches, so it will be about an 800 stitch day, I think. That'll be alright, won't it? Anyway, okay, so today being an uneven day, I have got a giveaway today, and today's is item number 2 on my list of Flossmas items, and it is the needle minder that Lizzie did for me. And it's not her normal painting, because she had the fabric and she went with the background swirls on the fabric, so this really does match the fabric, and it's here. It's very pretty in its own right, and as you can see, it's got, there you can see the lovely shine of the resin. It's got a lovely resin coating. Again, it is super thin, super light, super strong magnets. Again, the Marley back on the back of that second magnet there, they're very strong. So if you want to be entered into a lucky dip to win this particular magnet, leave me any kind of comment. As I say, an emoji will do. You just have to be on the list of comments so that you'll be in the dip, and we'll do the dip when I do my video tomorrow, which I'm assuming is going to be about the same time tomorrow. It's then I've got 2 earlies, so we're then going to switch to afternoon, late afternoon, early evening will be the next 2 days, because I'm on early shifts. So you're either going to get them about this time of the day, or you're going to get them early evening because I'm on earlies. So there we go, that's how it's going to roll. Yeah, so leave me a comment for that one. And yeah, so what I'm going to do now, what we've got left today, so it's 20 to 11. I'm going to have my shower, and then I'm going to take Richard for a walk to the supermarket that's just over there, just so that he's out and about today. Otherwise he's going to be at home all day. I think I need to get him out and get some air in his lungs. And then when I get back, I'm going to get lunch ready, make sure he knows what he's got for evening meal, and I've got the 13 individual listings to do for my individual items, which I think I can pretty much rattle through pretty quickly. I've got all the photographs done. All I will say on my Ko-fi listings, where I say add a bag, the picture of the bag is particularly bad lighting. It was really late at night. You can see from the other listing, if you go to the full pack listing, you can see how beautiful the bags are. They're not that dingy dark colour. I was just trying to get it done. I'll probably re-photograph them today, because I will be listing the bags as well today to buy individually. So it'll be individual items will be up. So if you only want to just get one little treat, that's totally doable. That's going to be up there from later on today, possibly not as this video goes up, but hopefully before I go to work today they will all be up and live. Right guys, I will see you tomorrow about this time, and we will do the dip for the needle minder, and I will see you then. Bye bye.